Hello guys and welcome to Engineering Hotspot. Hope you are doing well. Today we are going to continue with our GATE 2020 series. Here we will solve all 2 marks questions that came in thermodynamics and its application part of set 2. So let us begin with question number 34. We will provide the PDF as well. So in this question what they have said, 1 kg of air in a closed system undergoes an irreversible process. The process is irreversible. Okay. From an initial state of P1 they are given absolute pressure, then T1 they are given, and final state they have also provided both temperature and pressure. If the gas constant of air, they have said that it is air and they have provided the value of gas constant, characteristic gas constant, and the ratio of specific heat, and they wanted to know the change in the specific entropy in joule per kg. So this is important. The unit you need to keep in mind in which you are required to find the answer. So they have given 4 options. So this is not a very complicated problem. It's just a formula based problem. So what we have to do, we just have to note down the given data. So the initial state I will refer it with 1 and final state with 2. So they are given T1 as 27 degrees Celsius, and this will come out to add 273 to it, you will get 300 Kelvin. They have given P1 as 1 bar and they have said it is an absolute value. All the values whatever we take in thermodynamics, they are absolute values. Okay, if it is not absolute, if it is gauge, you need to convert it into absolute value. Then they have given the value of T2 as 127 degrees Celsius. If you convert it into Kelvin, it will come out as 400 Kelvin. They have given P2 as 3 bar. Okay, so now we need to find the values. So they have said calculate the change in entropy. So remember one thing, that for any system, it may be open system or closed system or any process, whether reversible or irreversible, but the one condition is that it should be an ideal gas. The gas which we are using, that should be an ideal gas. In that case, we can write delta S is equals to Cp into ln of T2 by T1 minus R into ln of P2 by P1. Okay, so you will ask me the value of Cp is not given. If it is not given, you can take or you can calculate the value from R into gamma upon gamma minus 1. They are given the value of R as 287 joule per kg. Okay, and they have given the value of gamma as 1.4. So if you calculate this value, you will get Cp as 1005 joule per kg. Okay. Now just substitute the values, but remember all the parameters or all the states variable should be in absolute system. So Cp is 1005 into ln of T2. T2 is 400 divided by T1 is 300 minus R. R is 287 into ln of P2 by P1. P2 is 3 divided by P1 is 1. So if you solve this value after calculation, you need to solve this in GATE calculator. Have a habit of solving uh, this in GATE calculator. Download like GATE calculator, Google Play Store or anything. Solve all the calculations in this GATE calculator. So you will have the good habit of solving it in GATE as well, and it will increase your speed. So if you solve this, you will get this value as minus 26.3, and its unit will be joule per kgk. Why? Because the unit of Cp is joule per kgk, and the value of R is also in joule per kgk. So the final answer will also be in joule per kgk. So this is the correct. So option A is correct. But remember, this formula what I have written, it should be used only for ideal gas. Remember, it's not valid for real gas, only for ideal gas it is valid. Reversible, irreversible, both you can use. Reversible, irreversible, then open system, closed system, anywhere you can use. Open system, closed system. Okay. So this thing you should know where you are going to apply the formula. That is important. What are the limitations of a formula you have remembered? You should keep in mind, because that is very much needed in any competitive exam, especially GATE. Okay. So let us move to next question. If you have any doubt, please comment. In the next question, question number 52, they have said air is contained in a frictionless piston cylinder arrangement. You can see air is present here, and this is piston. Okay, this is your piston, and they have given the atmospheric pressure as this much, and the initial pressure of air in the cylinder is this much. Area of piston they have given. Heat is now added and the piston moves slowly from an initial position until it reaches the stop. Okay, this is stop. It's shown here, this is stop. So the spring constant they have given for this spring, the value of K, spring rate or spring constant, as 12.5 Newton per mm. They have said consider the air inside the cylinder as the system. So you need to consider this as the system, because it is very much needed to define the system. Because if the system is defined something else, you will get the different values. Okay, and they wanted to know the work interaction in joule. Unit is important, joule. So what we need to do, first we should mark the state. Okay, I'm marking this state, this current state as 1. When the when the piston reaches this point, this is state 2, and when the piston will reach this point, this will be our state 3. Okay, so the piston is moving up and that's why there is increase in volume, that is called expansion. So what is happening here, remember, whenever the piston is free to move, if it is not bounded by any weight or anything outside, then in that case it can freely move, and in that case the pressure will be constant. So 1 to 2 process, 1 to 2 stage will be constant pressure. So pressure is constant. We know that work is given by integration of PdV. So they have, when we can use this formula, this is important. This formula can be used only if process is reversible. Only for reversible process for any substance. It is not necessary it should be gas or it should be liquid. For any substance, it can be solid, liquid, gas, anything. You can use this formula. And for closed system, it is important. For closed system. Okay. Why we are taking this as a closed system? Because you can see this is piston, this is air. In this case, you are unable to define the control volume because the control volume is changing continuously. If you define this as the control volume, the shape of the control volume will change. So we cannot assume it as an open system. We need to consider this as a closed system. So this is a control mass approach. Okay. So I am denoting this stage 1 to 2 work as W12, and this will be integration of PdV. So what will be there when the piston is at this stage 1? What is the pressure? They have given the initial pressure as 105 kilopascals. 105 kilopascals. So since the pressure is constant, you can take that pressure term outside the integration. So this will be P if I am going from 1 to 2. So I will integrate from 1 to 2. This will be V2 minus V1, and this is the pressure at 1. So this pressure is 105 into volume. Volume you can, V2 minus V1 is basically the change in the volume from state 1 to state 2. So that can be written as area into delta x1. So area they are given as 300 centimeter square. So convert this into meter square. This will be 300 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter squares. Okay. So now substitute the value. So this will be 105 into area 300 into 10 to the power minus 4. We need to calculate delta x1 as well. Delta x1 will be the displacement of the piston from 1 to 2. That is basically 8 centimeter they are given. So delta x1 is basically 8 centimeter. That is 8 by 100 meters. So have a good habit of converting all the units to one system. Basically, I used to convert all the units to SI system, and thereafter I will calculate the values. If you calculate this value, you will get this will be 0.252 kilojoules. Okay, 0.252 kilojoules. Now we will move to second part. See what they have said. If this is clear to you, I will erase the portion from the top. Okay, now we will move to the second part, that is from 2 to 3. When the piston will start, the motion of the piston is continuous, but we are dividing this into two stages, from 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3. So for 2 to 3, you can see spring is there. Remember one thing, whenever spring is present in the system, in that case, and if the volume is increasing, means expansion is going on, in that case pressure will always be proportional to volume. So basically it is a linear trend. It is not necessary that the line will start from 0, but it will have some intercept. So basically, if you are going to depict it with the help of a graph, I can say that from 1 to 2, pressure is constant, and then the pressure will increase linearly with volume. So the total area under this PV curve will give us the work that is required. We have calculated the 1 to 2 work. Now we will calculate 2 to 3 work. So how will we do that? It's very simple. See, the pressure at this point is less and the pressure at this point is more. So what will happen when this piston is going up, the spring is exerting force on the piston. Since this spring is compressing from its natural position, the spring force will act in downward direction. So P2A2 plus Kx will be equals to P3A3. So the value of P2 we have determined, that is same as value at 1. So value at 1 is what? 105 into area. Area of piston they have given 300 into 10 to the power minus 4. Okay. Plus value of K they have given. What is K? K is basically the spring constant. They have given this as 12.5 Newton per mm. Have a look at this unit. This is Newton per mm. If you convert this into Newton per meter, this will be 12.5 kilonewton per meter. So I will write 12.5. Later I will make the conversion, unit conversion. So 12.5 into this is x, is basically the shift or the displacement of the piston from 2 to 3. What is that? 8 centimeter. So this will be 8 divided by 100, and this will be equals to P3 into A3. A3 is area, that is 300 into 10 to the power minus 4. If you solve this, you will get this P3 as Okay, so we have determined the value at 3, the pressure at 3. Now it is very simple. How will you calculate the work for this portion? You can see this portion is looking like a trapezium. And what is the area of the trapezium? The area of the trapezium will give you the work from 2 to 3. That will be half into sum of parallel sides. If you see, the sum of parallel side will be what? This pressure P2 plus pressure P3 into volume, the volume between 2 to 3. Basically the change in volume between 2 to 3. So that you can write as A into X. Now just substitute the values. This will be 1 by 2. Pressure at 2 is 105. Pressure 138.33 into area. Area of piston is 300 into 10 to the power minus 4 into X. X value is 8 centimeters. So I will write 8 by 100. If you calculate this value, you will get this as 0.292 kilojoules, because it's a work, so the unit will be in joule, but since the pressure is accounted in terms of kilopascal, we will get this value in kilojoules. Now what will be the total work interaction? That will be the area, total area. So we have determined both the values. Now just we need to add to get the total work. That will be W12 plus W23. So this will be 0.252 plus 0.292, but this value will be in kilojoules. Okay, so you will get this value after addition as 0.544 kilojoules, but you are required to find the value in joules. So this will be 544 joules, and they have set it to round it to nearest integer, and this is the value what you have got. This is in integer only. So the correct answer will be 544 joules. Okay, this is this problem has taught us many concepts. One, that from 1 to 2, when we are looking, the piston is moving, here the pressure will remain constant because there is no foundation for this piston to move. The piston can freely move, so that's why the pressure is constant. And then from 2 to 3, the spring is there. Whenever the spring is present and the volume is observed, volume expansion is observed, or the expansion is observed, in that case the pressure will be proportional to volume. In that case you will see the linear trend, and in this way you can solve the problem. If you have still any doubt, please mention in the comment box. Now let us see the third question, that is question number 53. This is basically the question from RAC psychometry. Okay, so what they have said that the moist air pressure they have given, the temperature of the moist air they have given, the relative humidity they have given, and this moist air is flowing over a cooling coil. What it will do, when the moist air will move over the cooling coil, its temperature will decrease, and even the relative humidity will increase, because if you are moving the psychometry chart in this way, cooling is done. If you are doing sensible cooling, in that case you can observe that relative humidity will increase. This is 100% RH, means saturation curve. So if you are taking this point, initial point as 1, and if it is going in this way because cooling is observed, in that case the RH will increase as well as temperature will decrease because cooling is done. But here they have mentioned that the pressure is also changing, means it is not done at constant pressure. The system is not at constant pressure. It's a moist air. Moist air has two parts. One is dry air plus water vapor, and this is basically the moist air. Okay, so the rough sketch is observed like this way. The air enters in this way, air leaves in this way. The value is 105 kilopascals. Here the value is 100 kilopascals. Temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. Here temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. Here humidity is 80% RH, and here they have said saturated air. Saturated air means it reaches the saturation curve. This curve will touch this line. This line is a basically straight line. This will touch this curve. So RH will be 100%. Okay, and they have given the saturation pressure of water 4.24 kilopascal at 30 degrees Celsius. This is basically PVS because it is at the inlet. You can take this as 1. This is outlet. You can take this as 2. And similarly, they are given PV saturation pressure at 15 degrees Celsius, that is 1.7 kilopascals. Okay, so now let us solve the value. We know RH is what? RH is basically pressure of water vapor divided by saturation condition, but both should be at same temperature. If you are observing this at 30 degrees Celsius, this pressure, the pressure of vapor is also observed at 30 degrees Celsius. So this value at the inlet is 0.8. So corresponding to it, you will get PV1 and PVS1. This is 4.24. So if you solve this, you will get PV1 as 3.392 kilopascals. Okay. Now we can determine the value of humidity ratio, that is denoted by omega, and since we are looking at inlet condition, this will be omega 1 is equals to PV1 upon total pressure at 1 minus PV1. This is the formula that you need to remember for omega. So just substitute the value. If you solve this, you will get the value as of dry air. This is the actual unit for omega, because you are getting this omega means humidity ratio. This is basically humidity ratio. Humidity ratio is basically the mass of water vapor to mass of dry air. So that's why you have got this unit as kg of water vapor to kg of dry air. Okay. Now we will determine omega 2. You know that RH is equals to PV upon PVS at same temperature, and at the outlet the RH is 100%. Okay, 100% means what? 1. So this will be 1 equals to PV upon PVS to 1.7. So PV2 will be 1.7 kilopascals. Okay. Now we will see omega. So omega at the outlet, this is omega 2 is equals to 0.622 PV2 upon P total minus PV2. So just substitute the values 6 into 1.7 divided by, if you look the total pressure at the outlet, they have given this value as 100. If you solve this, you will get the value as, this value is 0.0107 kg per kg of dry air. Okay. Now they have said, now look at the question again. They have said the mass of water condensing out from the duct. In the unit is very important. See, they have given, they want the value in gram per kg of dry air. So we have got the values of omega 1 and omega 2. So the difference in these two values yes, the difference in these two values will give us, you can see the omega 1 is greater than omega 2. That means the omega is decreasing. Omega is decreasing means what? It means the moisture is going out. The mass of moisture is going out from the system. So what it will happen to that mass? The mass is actually converting it into liquid. So mass of water that is formed after condensation, the mass of water formed or condensed, this will be basically the difference between these two values, omega 1 minus omega 2. This will be 0.0207 minus 0.0107, and this will give you 0.010, but this unit will be kg per kg of dry air. But in question they have asked in gram per kg of dry air, so multiply it with 1000. So if you do that, you will get this value as 10 gram per kg of dry air. So this is the mass of vapor that is condensed into water. So this is the required answer, and they said that round off to nearest integer. Yes, it's a integer only. So answer for this question will be 10 gram per kg of dry air. Hope you have understood. See, this problem number 54 looks quite big, but actually this is a very easy problem if you have studied carefully in your BTech or BE, because this problem they just wanted to know how well you can check the values from the steam table. So let me draw the diagram first. What they have said. They have said that it is a steam power plant. So we know that a steam power plant works on Rankine cycle. So suppose this is the pressure, boiler pressure, and they have said the steam is superheated. So I will move in this way. Okay, so let me call this point as 1. This diagram is basically TS diagram. Okay, it is moving isentropically till what? Till it touches the saturation curve. This is saturated vapor. Because this is saturated liquid line, this is critical point, and after that this curve is saturated vapor, so it reaches the saturated vapor line. Okay, and after that it is heated again. I have said it is reheated at constant pressure. So at this pressure only. At this pressure only they have heated. So we will move to this point. I will refer this point as 2, this point as 3, and after that it is again expanded isentropically in another turbine. Okay, so it is expanded isentropically in another turbine. So they have not said where it will touch. So let me take this state as this point. I'm not sure where it is located, so I have taken this point. Not a problem. When we will solve, we will get to know. So this point will be your 4. Now just mark the temperature. What is there? 10 megapascal. This is 20 kilopascals, because the final pressure of the condenser is 20 kilopascals. Now just the values they have given, these two values, these two table you have to use. See, at state 1 this is superheated. So from the steam table, the values that are given, it is at 10 pascal, 10 megapascal. The state 1 is at 10 megapascal and temperature is 500 degrees Celsius. So corresponding enthalpy is 3373.6 kilojoule per kg. And the entropy at this point is 6.5965 kilojoule per kg. And you know that S1 will be equals to S2 because the expansion is going on isentropically. So this will be same this value. Now you are not knowing the pressure of point 2 or state 2. So in that case you need to look this graph. They have said this will touch the saturated vapor line. So saturated condition they have given. See, in saturated condition, if you see this value of 2, this is basically the saturated vapor. So saturated vapor condition you need to see in the table. If you see the table carefully, they have given for 1 megapascal SG means saturated vapor entropy as 6.5965, and this value is also 6.5965. So it is very clear that the pressure at state 2 is 1 megapascal. So P2 is 1 megapascal, and the value at 2 is what? Is basically saturated vapor enthalpy, that is 2778.1 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so we have got the value at 2. Now they have said that at this constant pressure we have reheated to 0.3, that is at 500 degrees Celsius. This is 500 degrees Celsius. So now this is again a superheated state. So now look at the superheated table. If you see at 1 megapascal at 500 degrees Celsius, they have again given the value of enthalpy. So this is basically the X3. X3 they have given as 3373.6, and entropy also they have given at 3 as 6.5965. Okay, so both values are given. Now this is again carried out isentropic expansion from 3 to 4. So what will be there? Entropy at 3 will be same as entropy at 4. So S3 is equals to S4. Now we are not knowing the state at 4, but we are knowing that this state 4 is having a pressure of 20 kilopascal. So if you look this table at 20 kilopascal, you see that SF value is 0.8319, but SG value is 7.9085. So, but the value at 4, state 4 is 6.5965 kilojoule per kg. That means this value is lying between these two regions. It means this value is basically a region. This value basically lies in wet region. Means state 4 is in wet region. And whenever the values or the point is in wet region, we need to calculate the dryness fraction. Let the dryness fraction as X. So what we will do, we will try to calculate the value of S4 as SF plus X times SG minus SF. What is S4? S4 is 6.5965. What is SF? SF is at this thing, this total thing is happening at 20 kilopascal. So value at 20 kilopascal for SF is 0.8319 plus X we don't know, we need to calculate it. So this is 7.9085 SG minus SF is 0.8319. If you check the value, you will get this value as it's 0.979. Okay. Now, since you have determined the value of dryness fraction, now you can calculate the enthalpy at state 4. That will be enthalpy for saturated liquid at 20 kilopascal plus X times Sg minus HF. So just substitute the values. This will be 251.38 plus 0.979 into Hg. Hg is 2609.7 minus 251.38. If you solve this value, you will get the value as 2560.91 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so now we have determined all the four values. Okay, all the four values that we need to solve the total work done by both the turbine. So now we can very easily solve the total work done. That will be W is equals to enthalpy. See, this is the first stage of turbine 1 to 2 and 3 to 4 is the second stage of turbine. So for first stage of turbine, it will be the enthalpy difference H1 minus H2. So I will write H1 minus H2, and similarly for the second stage, it will be H3 minus H4. Just substitute the values whatever we got. H1 we got 3373.6. 3373.6 minus H2 is 2778.1. 2778.1 plus H3. What is H3? Enthalpy at 3 is 3478.4. So now just substitute the value 3478.4 minus H4 is 2560.91. Just solve it. If you solve this value, you will get this as okay. But see the question what they have said. They have said round off to the nearest integer. If they have said to round off to nearest integer, you need to do. Otherwise, you will lose the marks. So this will be 1513, rounding off to nearest integer. So W will be 1513 kilojoule per kg. Okay. So this will be the correct answer for this question. If you still have any doubt, please mention in the comment box. So here we have come to the last part of our question number 55. So this is again a question of diesel cycle. We have seen yesterday also one diesel cycle problem. Again a diesel cycle problem appeared in same set. So first draw the PV diagram. So they have said keeping all the parameters identical, compression ratio of an air standard diesel. They have given air standard diesel cycle. Yesterday I explained you what is air standard diesel cycle. So they have increased the compression ratio from 15 to 21, and they are saying that take the ratio of specification, basically gamma. Gamma is 1.3, and cutoff ratio they have given. What is cutoff ratio? Cutoff ratio is basically the ratio of V3 by V2. That is basically cutoff ratio, and they have given this value as 2. So basically remember, cutoff ratio is used whenever heat is added at constant pressure. Okay. Whenever heat is added at constant pressure, in that case, or the volume after heat addition divided by volume before heat addition will give you the cutoff ratio. And the compression ratio will be what? It is basically the ratio of V1 by V2, means the volume before expansion, volume before compression divided by volume after compression. So this is compression ratio. They have given this value as 15 initially. So I will take this as 1. And finally they have given compression ratio as 21. So you can solve the problem from this scratch, but it will be difficult because the values of pressure, temperature they have not mentioned. So it is advisable to remember the formula for the air standard diesel cycle, that is given as 1 minus 1 upon Cr to the power gamma minus 1 into gamma Rc to the power gamma minus 1 upon Rc minus 1. Just remember the formula. It will be very easy to solve the problem during the competitive exam if you remember the formula. So since I will taking for initial state there, then it will be an efficiency of old. old efficiency will be 1 minus 1 upon CR. CR is 15 to the power gamma. Gamma minus 1, this will be 0.3. 1.3 minus 1 will be 0.3 into 1.3 into 2 to the power 1.3 minus 1 upon 2 minus 1. If you solve this value, you will get this as 50.08%. Okay, and efficiency nu if you want to find, then you need to put the value of compression ratio, that is final. So this will be 1 minus 1 upon 21 to the power 0.3 into 1.3 into 2 to the power 1.3 minus 1 divided by 2 minus 1. So this will be you will get this value after solving as 54.87%. So they are saying calculate the value of efficiency new minus efficiency old. So just put the values here in percentage they have said. So that's why I calculated these values in percentage, these two values in percentage. So 54.87 minus 50.08. If you solve this, you will get this value as 4.79%. But they told you in question to round up to 1 decimal place. So if you round it to 1 decimal place, it will be 4.8%. Remember one thing, that if in exam, especially in GATE exam, if they have mentioned that round up to this much decimal place or that much decimal place, you need to do that after calculation. If you don't do that, you will lose marks. And still you have any doubt, please mention in the comment box. So thank you guys and have a nice day.